Welcome, listeners, to another episode of the Panel Pals Podcast, the comic book podcast for thinkers. We're your hosts, Jack Stewartson.
And Diane Hitchings.
Diane, we're, as of the airing of this episode, we'll be entering the spookiest time of year, Halloween. I did not pick a spooky book, but are you doing anything special for Halloween? What's your deal on Halloween?
Yeah, I know. I actually thought about this week. I was like, if we were better at planning, we would have planned something kind of spooky. Just like we did a great job of planning something for Pride Month. Haha, nope.
Whoops.
My brother's husband came out after that. Oopsie. Oh well. I very much enjoy Halloween. I usually don't get much. I don't really have much of a reason to dress up because I don't do things. I don't really go out.
You don't go outside?
But I'm gonna request to work on Halloween so that I can dress up as at work.
Nice.
And then I can actually wear a costume, because if I don't work, then I will just have no reason to dress up, because it's not like I'm gonna go out to party and dress up for that. No, God, no. I go to bed at 8 p.m. How about you?
So festive. Yeah, we were gonna have a party here. We still are gonna have a party here at my place, but I now work on Halloween, so I won't be attending that. I don't know. I'll carve a jack-o'-lantern the night before. I get a couple days off before, so I'll do all my spooky movie watching and eat excessive amounts of candy.
But Halloween is an evening thing. You're not working evenings, are you?
I had to pick up for this one.
I was
for various reasons. Anyway.
Yeah, I was like, I thought that you worked a normal 9 to 5. What is this?
Spooky.
Yeah, it's spooky. Working into the evenings. Ooh.
No.
It's spooky time. It's getting cold time. It was 4 degrees when I biked to work this morning. What do you mean? It is not supposed to be cold yet. Stop.
Yeah, winter is coming. If it's not here yet.
Yeah, wasn't too much of a fan of that, but oh well.
Speaking of fandom, are you ready to talk about today's subject?
Ooh, you bet I am.
Okay. This film is dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan. End titles, Rambo 3. In his book, The End of History and the Last Man, political scientist Francis Fukuyama speculates how ideology across the world would shake out in the aftermath of the Cold War. Fukuyama theorized that with the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, and with no major political rivals, Western liberal democracy had proven itself the most logical and morally superior political ideology. As such, liberal democracy would become the prevailing government state on a global scale, essentially creating a new hegemonic monoculture and a post-history world order. Though Fukuyama correctly predicted the wealth disparity between the West and the global South, what he describes as post-historical and historical worlds, respectively, as well as the threat transhumanism poses towards liberal democracy, see our episode on Transformers vs. G.I. Joe for more, he vastly underestimated the tribalism and the ethnic cultural unity emboldened and fueled by Western bias. Full disclosure, I am neither an expert on, nor am I fully equipped to give the most nuanced or informed explanation of the Middle East in the 20th century and the rise of the Islamic State after the Cold War. In the broadest possible description, Soviet occupation in Afghanistan and the surrounding area was met with resistance from Sunni Islamic fundamentalists. Quick to seize an opportunity to debase their communist rivals, the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States helped fund, arm, and train said Sunni freedom fighters, known then as the Mujahideen. This escalated into a full-on war in Afghanistan in March of 1979, lasting nearly a decade before the Soviet army pulled out of the region. Tensions between the Soviet-backed Democratic Republic of Afghanistan and an assortment of Mujahideen factions led to 2 back-to-back civil wars in Afghanistan and increased destabilization in the surrounding nations. A number of power players would emerge in this period, but most pertinent to this discussion and to U.S. intelligence are Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. While the Taliban was primarily concerned with reorganizing the domestic affairs in Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda and its leader, Osama bin Laden, were set on a global Islamic revolution. While al-Qaeda operations were largely decentralized, it grew a unified focus on attacking the United States, particularly after the US started stationing troops in the Arabian Peninsula and into Saudi Arabia. When al-Qaeda declared jihad and a fatwa on the US, their threats were not initially taken all that seriously. US foreign policy at the time was more concerned with protecting foreign assets and investments, such as the oil fields in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and the Persian Gulf. It wouldn't take long for the US to learn the consequences of their arrogance. The following decade would bring escalation to the conflict between US and Islamic fundamentalism. On February 23, 1993, Islamic liberator Ramzi Youssef planted and detonated a bomb in the World Trade Center parking garage in New York. While the attack did kill 6 people, it was ultimately unsuccessful in Youssef's true goal of toppling both towers. A plot to bomb the Holland-Lincoln Tunnel, the New York Federal Building, and assassinate then-President of Egypt Hosni Mubarak was uncovered and halted that same year. Youssef and al-Qaeda chief officer Khalid Sheikh Mohammed plotted a 3-phase terror attack in early 1995 involving the assassination of then-Pope John Paul II, the bombing of 11 US-bound flights, and the hijacking of a small Cessna-style aircraft to be crashed into the CIA's headquarters in Langley. Known as the Bojinka plot, and personally financed by bin Laden, the attacks were foiled when a chemical fire was discovered by local authorities at an apartment in the Philippines, where the bombs were being manufactured. On August 7, 1998, members of the Egyptian sect of al-Qaeda conducted 2 simultaneous truck bombings on the US embassies in Tanzania and Kenya, killing 224 people total. I refer to these horrible acts only to illustrate how credible a threat al-Qaeda was before the September 11th World Trade Center attacks. Elements of the Bojinka plot's 3rd phase were essentially revised and reused for 9/11. 19 hijackers took control of 4 commercial planes, crashing into both World Trade Center towers in New York and the Pentagon, while an attack on the 4th target was thwarted by crew and passengers of United Flight 93. The attack killed 2,977 people and remains the deadliest terror attack in history. However, to suggest it came out of the blue is entirely untrue. In mid-2001, both the CIA and the NSA had in fact suspected that a terror attack against the US was imminent. In an article for the International Herald Tribune, Kurt Eichenwald reported that as early as May 2001, the CIA briefed then newly elected President George W. Bush that a group presently in the United States was planning a terrorist operation. CBS leaked a briefing from the CIA to the president dated August 6th of 2001 titled, "Bin Laden Determined to Strike US." The more conspiratorially minded would use all of this as evidence to suggest that the 9/11 terror attacks were some kind of false flag or inside job organized by the US government. This is a misguided notion at best and intellectually dangerous at worst. What is more likely, and what I propose, is that the CIA is actually really shitty at their job. The bureaucratic bottlenecking caused by the exchange of presidents earlier that year, and the refusal to disclose information between law enforcement agencies, as well as to the general public, are the key factors in explaining how the attacks weren't prevented. Moreover, the CIA didn't have the foresight to see that funding, arming, and training a group of people who fundamentally disagree with their ideology and foreign policy might come back to haunt them. In the intelligence community, there's a term used to describe when there are harmful, unintended consequences to an operation's sponsor: blowback. Can you guess which agency coined that term? In the aftermath of 9/11, the US would not just invade Afghanistan, but attack several other independent Muslim nations, including Iraq and Syria. Moreover, law enforcement and intelligence agencies in the US have been granted special permissions when conducting investigations against terrorism, at the expense of the civil rights and liberties of US citizens and foreign nationals in the country. Mind you, terrorism has never ended. In the pop culture of the 20th century, intelligence agents were depicted as either grizzled badasses or cool, level-headed operators. James Bond, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, or Chuck Norris in Delta Force all exemplify the soft power of imperialist covert actions. Tough guys who act with impunity, taking down the bad guy with suave one-liners and top-of-the-line equipment. What 9/11 should have taught us is that these depictions could be further from the truth. Just like any analysis job, the CIA is run by dorks. And when dorks get too comfortable, arrogant, and lazy, that's when they get sloppy. But post 9/11, pop culture only doubled down on their depiction of intelligence operators. Films like the Bourne trilogy, Zero Dark 30, even Captain America and Bond, all more self-serious and hyper-fixated on depicting competency in the fight against terror. Surely, hidden among the Dick Marcinko wannabe badasses, there had to be some kind of honest alternative. Benjamin Marra loathes violence. Born in Halifax and raised in New York, Marra recalls in an interview with Ashok Kondabula for the Brooklyn Rail, seeing violence on TV really upset me as a child, even if it was just in an action or horror movie. The idea of a violent act terrified me. That someone would actively seek to hurt someone else was a paralyzingly horrible idea to me. A precocious child, Marra grew up on a healthy dose of Tintin, Ninja Turtle ripoffs, and Marvel comics before falling in love with film and alternative comics. Marra studied traditional oil painting in Italy during his junior year at Syracuse, and is also a graduate of David Mazzucchelli's sequential arts courses at the New York School of Visual Arts. Throughout his studies, Marra became haunted by violent, psychosexual art, and often found himself sketching incredibly gory, pinball marquee-inspired pen drawings throughout his academic career. He also became drawn to the R-rated video nasties he was frightened by as a child. In an interview with Dash Shaw for Bubbles fanzine, Marra rationalized his work as being interested in the way human beings have the power or use their power to hurt one another. You don't have to just read genre fiction to see that type of violence in the world. But also growing up, there was always interest to me, an interest in me about what it means to be a man, or what masculinity means. And is violence a part of that, or is personal power a part of that, and is personal power related to violence? And is personal power related to inflicting harm on other human beings? Marra began self-publishing black and white comics under his own imprint, Traditional Comics, starting in 2008 with 4 issues of his coked-out crime thriller, Night Business. Marra would continue to self-publish ultra-violent and sardonic black and white books, while simultaneously doing design and commercial art gigs for the likes of Playboy, the MLB, and rapper Little B. Indie darling Fantagraphics approached Marra in 2015 to expand on a previously released one-shot that was making rounds at cons in the summer of 2014. That book became Terror Assaulter, One-Man War on Terror. As described in the book's blurb, in 2001, as a response to the terrorist attacks on September 11th, President George W. Bush ordered the creation of a super-secret team of U.S. Foreign Service agents committed to the protection of American interests overseas. The team was known as the Terror Assaulters. Operating with complete and total independence and licensed to kill without mercy, these highly trained individuals were in no way linked to the U.S. government. What follows is 4 chapters of ludicrous violence, as OMWOT, quote-unquote, saves the interests of Western democracy by battling terrorists. The plotting of the opening 3 chapters calls to mind the Cannon Films canon, as well as the oeuvre of the great Steven Seagal. In the final chapter, OMWOT comes face-to-face with his greatest mission, infiltrate and integrate into a domestic life. Terror Assaulter OMWOT proposes a highly exaggerated, ultra-stylized view of the war on terror. The book notions towards post-irony through its monotonous dialogue and morose characters, yet sincere action sequences. It is at once a bitter satire and loving homage, making it one of the strangest outlaw comics of all time. Is Terror Assaulter good satire? Can we glean a coherent political message about intelligence and foreign intervention in the text? Is it high art? Is it low art? And Diane, what did you think of Terror Assaulter OMWOT?
Let's play a game. Do you think I liked this or hated this?
I don't think, I think you liked part of it. I'm gonna guess that you liked part of it, but you didn't like all of it.
I had a great time with this one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Yeah. So I went into it taking it kind of, like, seriously. And then, like, about halfway through, I think, like, the second chapter, I was like, oh,
I
get
a joke.
It. Gotcha. Like in the first chapter when like the lady falls out of the car that's flying through the air, I'm like, what? How did she wouldn't be fine after that. And then I'm like, oh wait, there's a plane that's exploding in half. Yeah, I don't know why I started this. How did I even get this far in with taking it seriously? What was I doing? But yeah. Like, yeah. What's if you don't take it seriously, I believe, then like it's a great time.
Yes, it is one of the This book lives rent free in my mind. It's so puzzling in its tone and its themes, and yet I love it. I love all of it. I love every aspect of it, regardless of how problematic it might be.
How did you find this? How were you introduced to this?
I must have recognized Marra's art before this, because he's done like collector's DVD covers for stuff. Okay. Like he's done some covers for, have you ever watched, or are you familiar with the Zatoichi films?
That's familiar, but I couldn't place exactly what it is.
They're Japanese movies about a blind samurai. There's like half a dozen of them, and but they've all been released by the Criterion Collection, and he's done a couple of covers for those. What I'm most familiar with him from is his appearances and the praise that he got on the YouTube channel Cartoonist Kayfabe, which is a dead channel and which we crib a little bit from. We don't have to get into what they were all about, but they mentioned that this was like one of the best Outlaw comics of all time, this T.error Assaulter OMWOT, which sparked my curiosity. Mm-hmm. And then when you read the thing, it's like, this is insane. How is he allowed to do this? Who thought this was a good idea to release this? Why did anyone think this is commercially viable?
Yes, I do agree. But also, seeing that this was commercially viable, I was like, cool. Okay, good. So anything can be commercially viable, really. Nice.
Totally.
Yeah. When I was reading this, a lot of what I thought was, besides the fact that it's colored slightly differently, this looks like something, like, in tone and in aesthetic, something that Jack would have made.
Yes.
I was like, you know what? This seems like something, A, he really enjoys, and B, yeah, this feels like something he could have made.
Yes.
You very much enjoy this.
Yeah. It's non-standard, for sure. There's no way that a mainstream publisher, like even Fantagraphics publishing this, is a little curious. It's like, really? You guys, you think this is good? Okay.
Well, I like the fact that you said in your blurb at the start that the Fantagraphics approached him and asked him and was like, hey, do more of this? Can we publish it?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, if that ain't the dream,
truly.
To make something crazy out of left field, and an actual publishing person is like, hey, we like this, please let us print it and also make more of it. That's the dream.
Especially because Fantagraphics prints they would be dramedies if they were making movies, or like introspective biographies if they were just doing prose book. They don't do action stuff. This is so out of pocket for them. Go ahead and do, but it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, yes, I enjoyed it. The action scenes, okay, would you say that in general, the human form in this and the posing is slightly awkward?
Yes, 100%. This calls to mind what a 14-year-old would draw. This is if a really good 14-year-old made a comic book.
And it works because this is a comedy satire thing. Just the insanity of the action scenes paired with the relatively stiff posing, but he's doing insane moves. It's I don't know, comedy gold, really. What is it? Let me find it. At the very end, when he's fighting a guy in a parking lot, he's like, this is a clothesline maneuver, and then just does the funniest kick to break the guy's back, and it's it's so funny.
It's hilarious. How about the bit? It's in the second chapter, Funding, where he's taking out these terrorists on a plane, and he kicks a guy's. It's a machine gun. It's a nondescript machine gun, but he shoots it upside down. He's holding it upside down to shoot him. It's that's something a kid would do when they're playing with their Nerf guns or their dollar store cap guns. It's it's amazing.
It's so good. I'm yes, very inventive action scenes. Very much enjoy that. I think it was in the third no, where is the one I really enjoy? Oh, he catches a guy's kick, throws him, and then shoots him in the head when he's falling down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Incredible.
Amazing. And it's just done so nonchalantly. I'm this is so funny. This is peak comedy. I don't know if this was supposed to be just comedy, but to me it's just surreal comedy.
That is also why I love this. Is I don't know how sincere, to what degree Ben Marra is sincere about his work. If you listen to him in interviews, which he's appeared way more than I thought he has in like describing his work and other people's work also. He's sometimes he collaborates with this YouTube channel called Power Comics, where they talk about other comics that look like this, but like made in the 80s and 90s. And like, he genuinely seems to like this stuff. Like, he thinks that it looks good. And it's like, okay, sure.
So he thinks that this style looks good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like, but even cruder artwork. He likes even cruder stuff than this. Like, when I bring up the Ninja Turtles ripoffs that he was growing up on, I don't know if you've tried to read any of those, but not a lot of them hold up very well. But he loves all of them. He loves adolescent black belt hamsters and fighter toads.
Yeah, my sister has a volume or something or two of the hamster one.
Space beavers or time beavers.
Yeah, which like I enjoy. I don't know if I'm enjoying them ironically or like truly enjoying them, but like when you say, "Oh, he thinks this looks good, it's cruder art, blah blah," it's like, well, aesthetics are a very subjective thing. This is being said by someone who has very strong opinions on the aesthetics of comics and would not say that this comic looks nice. Well, like, okay.
Nobody's pretty in this book, that's for sure.
No, everyone looks awful.
Everybody's like, even Terror Assaulter is like drawn conventionally attractive. Like, from certain angles, he just looks monstrous.
I mean, like, okay, you say he's supposed to be conventionally attractive, but like, he looks like a nerd. Like, is that done on purpose? Because like, it's very fun. It was funny to me, like at the very start, like literally on the first page, he's walking into the building and like the receptionist lady is like, "Wow, he's so handsome." And I'm like, I mean, I guess, but like, is it just me? He looks like a nerd, right? He's wearing glasses and he's got like his hair like slicked and he's wearing a suit and like, he looks like a nerd. He's really buff underneath.
I think he's supposed to be, oh, what's that actor's name? Robert Redford. To me, he looks like a Robert Redford if he was wearing, like a young Robert Redford if he was wearing aviator shades.
Yeah.
But then from certain angles, he looks like a thumb, and from certain angles... Yeah, it's incredible. Okay. It's amazing.
Well, you know, I read his glasses as just glasses, not aviators, so...
Okay.
This is why he looks like a nerd to me. But, like, I don't know, man. He's wearing a suit, and, like, he's at the very end, he's working in a financial institution, I believe. So, like, that's, like, nerd stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it was kind of funny, like, the disconnect by how everyone's saying he's really attractive, but there's also the fact, well, like, like you said, he's drawn like a thumb, but like also he's just like a nerdy looking dude who I guess has great abs, but
with no distinct personality other than he wants to inflict violence on everybody
and put his dick in it sometimes. Well, most times actually.
All the time. And also he's got one character quirk. He does the "let's just say," and then he says something. Yes, his catchphrase. His awesome, really cool catchphrase. All of the dialogue here, all of the writing is like so... It's not even naturalistic. It's like, again, it's like about not even a 14-year-old. It's like if a 9-year-old was like writing a comic book. Everybody says what they're gonna do on the panel.
Yes.
There's no subtext.
But like, it's obviously done on purpose.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Like, I lost it in the plane chapter. Yes, the hijackers say the cockpit is in the front. First of all, that's like
as opposed to where else on the plane.
Yeah, it's like it's not even like they're saying what they're doing in the panel, like so many of them, and it's like it's not a thing that like you don't have to say that. It doesn't even make sense in any like the reader's not going to think differently. You could have just said we're going to the cockpit because that's what they are doing in the panel, but it's just the cockpit is in the front, and I'm like, okay, yes, you're right. I shouldn't be taking any of this seriously. It's so good. Yeah, it's and then the plane explodes, but he still lands it, and then he lands it, and people are like, "Oh my god, you saved F," and he says, "Get away from me! Don't touch me."
Yeah, as like also he obviously people died on the, like, people are burning alive on the plane as he's landing, obviously.
There's people
like,
just falling out of the plane the whole way through.
Yeah, like, he didn't save it. He did a really bad job, actually.
I mean, he could have done worse.
I guess, sure. I don't know, maybe this constitutes a good job in the universe of Terror Assaulter.
I mean,
in the same book where the terrorists do in fact invade America and take over the country for all of 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just looking at every page is so funny to me. I mean, like, yes, there's a lot of things in this comic that, like, formally should make me not like it. It's using, like, generally, like, the grid on each page for the panel layout, which I historically are known to hate. But, like, I can't bring myself to not have a great time reading this.
Yeah, it's just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even in especially in its design. I love the cars in this book. Like, looking at the art, I'm like, oh, they're little boxes. They're like the first time you try and draw a car when you're a kid. Yeah. I love the buildings. They're all rectangles.
They're all rectangles. I mean, like, there's a reason I don't draw most of my stories happening in current day. It's because I hate drawing cars. So, like, I get it. I'm like, I want to just draw cars like that and make that passable, and I want no one to question it. But, like, no, I didn't question it at all. I was like, yeah, that's just cars. I did notice every building is a rectangle, and it's pretty empty.
Yes, yeah, there's no distinct difference. I guess the White House kind of actually looks like the White House, but there's no distinction from terrorist headquarters, which is just a building, and his office that he goes to work at.
Yeah. And, like, his house, I guess. Yeah, his house has a couple aspects to it. There's, like, a couch.
Yeah, he's got a stairway.
The courtroom's got, like, wooden trim, you know. When they go to a store in the mall, it's just, like, this huge cavernous room with, like, 3 pieces of lingerie, and you're like, yeah. And I'm like, I get it. I don't like having to draw racks full of clothing. It's really annoying. It, like, reminds me how, like, in Archie comics, a lot of the time, the hallways are completely bare. There's no lockers or anything, and it's like,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
And it's all medium shots, too, in Archie. Yeah. We gotta give Marra some credit. All of his angling, his, like, blocking is exceptional. Like, there's all kinds of different angles and poses going on, however crude they may be. Or however he, like, forces foreshortening. Like, he's going for it in this.
Yeah, exactly, and I can really commend him on that, because, I mean, I always, like, don't really draw angles that I am not good at, which I try to be better to, like, come up with more inventive angles and, like, foreshortening and stuff, and I'm always like, well, I couldn't make that look good, I'll just not do it from that angle, I'll do something easier. So, good on him for, like, trying. And it fits the style, it fits the aesthetic, it works.
It's so freaking cool.
Okay, but, like, on the note of it being cool and we're enjoying it, would you say, like, one of the questions you asked, I enjoy this as, like, absurdist art from a political sense or whatever it's trying to say politically. Does it work? Does it actually say anything? Or is this just funny comic?
I mean, at the very least, it doesn't make the U.S. or the intelligence apparatus of the U.S. look good, right? I think we could say that. OMWOT is a dick. He's, like, good at inflicting violence, but he's bad at actually saving people. He works for a satanic secret cabal of, like, dragons or snake people underneath the White House.
They're wearing white hoods and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, they're also probably white supremacists. Like, I don't think you could come away with this and be like, "Oh yeah, America's so cool."
But, like, here's my worry. I think that he, like, OMWOT here, he might fit in the same category as, like, Rorschach, as in some incel man is gonna be like, this guy's so cool, I'm totally him.
You'd have to be really, I don't know. I think you have to be really dumb to think that. I think you would not understand the text.
I also think that about Rorschach and Watchmen, but yet here we are. There's people who think he's like a actually good dude and he's cool and he's like the character people should want to be. So I don't give people credit. I think people are stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, first off, I don't know if those guys could even stomach reading this also. That's also
true.
part of the thing. It's like, it is so abstract and it is so strange. I'm just looking at the chapter. Like, no way is this guy cool when he beats up miners and then takes their can of spray paint and sprays it on one of their pants and says, there, look, now it looks like you've pissed yourself. Like, that's not a cool thing to do.
No, but it's really funny.
It's really funny.
Because he goes out, he uses his legs to throw another person like a baseball bat to hit two other people. There's not a single person in this panel that is touching the ground. It is impossible to make enough force to make these people hit each other, but it's so...
Not for the terror assaulter.
No, yeah. Gravity does not stand in the way, obviously.
Yeah, man. How do you feel about its depictions of here's another thing where I say, oh, it's like it was written by a 14-year-old. How do you feel about its depictions of human sexuality? How nuanced do you feel those are?
I mean, it's not the worst depiction. He's up for anyone. It's good.
He's up for it. He is very progressive in that way. Except for I think it is showing a version of masculinity that, well, sure, I guess kind of socially progressive. I think he's just a monster. I don't think there's any, like, there's no love going on. There's no, like, actual human connection.
Yeah.
It is the driest sex has ever looked on the page, I think.
Oh yes, very very dry. Oh my god, someone's getting so like, no way that anyone here is enjoying this. That look painful.
No.
Yes, no. If he was being actually progressive, he would bottom at least once, but no. Always got to be the man. Always got to be the big straw man.
And just like in the action sequences, I mean, sorry, Mom, I'm gonna talk about peepees and vaginas here, but everybody just says exactly what they're going to do.
Yes.
Here's the opening one. Get on top of me. Okay. Your penis is hard. Oh, baby. Yes. Now get on your back. It's like, oh man, what a painful experience. How awkward.
The funniest one is when he says, "I'll move your panties out of the way so they won't interfere with the intercourse."
Yes.
Way to absolutely ruin the mood. B, yes, you are describing exactly what is happening and you didn't need to say that at all, but
so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting because, like, the sex scenes are, like, rendered, like, well, I guess, and they're I guess kind of like the fighting scenes where
they're so clinical, right? Like they're like clinical. They are something out of, like, a human sexuality textbook almost.
That's not how I really read it. I just read it like they are drawn and depicted in more detail than you might think, as in they're quite explicit. They go on for a decent amount of pages, which, like, is very similar to how the fighting scenes are. They do take a decent amount of pages to happen. They are relatively inventive with the posing, but slightly awkward and missing a lot of the more, like, actual human elements, you could say, as in, like, how physics and, like, bodies actually work. Like you said, it's like, I guess, a 14-year-old's depiction or whatever who has no experience in anything.
Yeah, has no idea. They know what it looks like in theory.
Yeah. But they also, like, for example, don't know what violence actually looks like or how fighting actually works. Human bodies don't move like that. You can't just pick up another human. No one's actually that strong. It's like, despite how, like, visceral and, like, graphic it is, it's very inhuman because of how unrealistic it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, an interesting thing about, like, the sex scenes, it's like they are extremely, like, graphic, and the characters are drawn in an idealized way, as in the men are very muscular and very well endowed, as at least one or two people mention. The women are extremely shapely. They're wearing very unrealistic lingerie, which,
yeah, they're all wearing lingerie.
very cute designs. I will say that. The lingerie designs are good. So they're like idealized, but they are drawn in a way that I don't think they are meant to be arousing.
No,
if that makes
no.
sense.
You would have to be 14 or like 13 and like so sexually repressed to think any of this is like sexy.
So like that's the interesting, like that's what I find interesting about these scenes is the fact that they are like in theory should be like the epitome of a sexy scene, but in practice and formally are the antithesis to that. And it's like I'm sure it means something. Or maybe I'm just here over-analyzing the most unrealistic lingerie buying scene ever.
Again, I think it's satirizing your James Bond or your any number of spy thriller hero who gets laid at least once or twice, by different women on a mission where it's like, that doesn't happen. There's no way that happens in real life if you're a CIA analyst. You're at your desk like 90% of the time.
Yeah, and you actually look like a nerd.
And you look like a nerd.
You are not ripped. You just wear glasses.
Yeah.
No one is going to give you a compliment about how great your muscles look in the mirror at work.
Or if you're a king wolf. One of his friends calls him a king wolf. Not a compliment anyone has ever given anyone.
No. Me reading that being like, yeah, he's an alpha. He's a sigma.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
it
proceeds to have another hilariously clinical sex scene in a bathroom at work. Yeah. The workplace is drawn as just like a rectangle with no discerning features. Yeah.
And you don't see what kind of work he does. Like.
No, yeah. He works at financial institution.
Right. But he mostly just stands around a water cooler and goes go-karting in the parking lot. Like, oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah, surely this is saying something about corporate America, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah. I know. The one thing I do enjoy the fact that it's like, yes, I am the investor and I work at this is internet company, or yes, the financial institution. It's like, yeah, why bother naming these things? Just say what they are. Yeah, it's like the bluntness, just like the dialogue. It's so funny.
You're the to quote the book, you're the best fucking worker at financial institution. You get $1 million bonus. Ha ha ha. You're the fucking funniest fucking guy. Ha 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 ha. It's like, what the fuck do these guys do? It's like, it's so funny.
Yeah, they're not saying anything of worth. I mean, like, yeah, sure. You think he's enjoying his job at financial institution?
After he's been fired from being a terror assaulter?
Did he get fired?
I think he gets like relocated. It's like his new mission, which is true of like actual CIA guys. Usually you're a desk guy and then you get sent into the field, depending on what the US wants to do. But yeah, hilarious.
I like how his son is fat though.
His kid?
Yeah. Because he's just a clone and I'm like, yeah, I assume see that there's the nerd. Yeah. That's I guess what he looked like. That's what he looked like before he went to the gym. Yeah. And your car and your wife and your house and your boring desk job.
Your perfect life. Yeah.
Yeah.
That he seemingly loathes. How do you feel? What do you think the ending means to this book?
Okay, yeah, anyways, I was gonna ask you. I am like, okay, explain the last panel to me. What is happening?
In my interviews, or in my research, I should say, I was trying to figure out, because Marra said that the whole book was built around, despite it just being a one-shot initially, his idea for the whole book was built around this last issue of what happens when a spy gets, reassigned to office work. Like, what happens when you have to live a domestic life. And the book ends with terror assaulter being frustrating in a parking lot because somebody took his spot. He beats the living hell out of him. His wife exits the car to tell him to stop because the guy who he beat up turns out he's, quote, a community leader, whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
It then ends with the terror assaulter OMWOT walking somberly into the distance, into the sunset, taking off his sunglasses and looking into the sunset, where I think it's supposed to be like a crusader knight, but it might be King Arthur,
I think it's
hangs
King Arthur.
loomingly in the distance as some sort of vision or ghost. And I don't know if this is like a commentary on like white supremacy or like Catholic ethnocentrism, or like if it's just like, it'd be insane if this guy worshipped King Arthur. Like he thinks he's a modern day King Arthur or something.
Yeah, well, okay, I was like, wow, I can't wait for Jack to give me an essay he wrote on this last page and what it means. Are you telling me you didn't? And I have to figure it out for myself?
Yeah. I don't know what it means. He's never elaborated on it, except, what if I told you that Benjamin Marra is making a sequel as we speak? He's serializing a sequel to this on his Instagram as a part of, it's a series called What We Mean by Yesterday. Every day he's been drawing like 3 panels at a time, a comic that like encompasses all these different characters, but part of it, within it, is a sequel to Terror Assaulter OMWOT called Terror Assaulter OMWOT 2, where he's back. He's back and he's kicking ass and he's fighting the war on drugs. But again, he doesn't elaborate on this freaking ending. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it's like, yes, it's the only time he ever takes off his glasses, or you would like hypothetically be able to see his eyes. But no, it's just big old King Arthur in the sky, just staring back.
Incredible.
What does it mean? Do you think it actually means something?
I don't know. I think it's funny. I think it's funnier if it doesn't. It's like something out of like The Naked Gun or something. Like it's just so random and obtuse.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. It's awesome. I want to end a comic like this.
Because like, yeah, I think that like if something means something, I think artists are like historically known to very much want people to know what their symbolism means. And to be like, yes, this was like done on purpose, yes, and this is what it means. If he said absolutely nothing about it, either he's one of those people who is like, nah, I'm not gonna tell anyone, they gotta figure it out themselves, or he's like, it's just funny, I just wanted to draw it. It's good.
I mean, let me read the About the Author section. Does your digital copy come with the About the Author section?
At the very end.
Yeah.
The last page where he says we're addicted to oil, yeah.
Yes.
Read this.
Benjamin Marra is an artist who studies the world around him. Okay, doesn't mean anything. All artists do that. On the subject of nature, he says, I mean, nature, man, it's just amazing. Doesn't actually mean anything. Has nothing to do with the book. He adds, when I look at a sunset, I see nature. Okay, well, he looks at a sunset at the end of the book, but he doesn't see nature. Like, it doesn't have anything. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
He is also into world politics. Again, vague, doesn't say anything. Let me tell you something, bro. We are addicted to oil. Which, again, leads into my theory that he's satirizing the fucking CIA nation state of the U.S. imperialism.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, that's obviously a joke. Like, he's obviously not saying anything real. But if you hear him in interviews, this is how he talks. This is how he really talks in interviews.
I mean, I'm like, you could also look at it on the subject of nature. He could just not be talking about, like, the natural world. He could be talking about the nature of man. Yeah, because it says, I mean, nature, man, it's just amazing. So, like, you could talk about the nature of man, and when he looks at the sunset, he sees nature. If he looks at the sunset, he sees the nature of man. If he looks at the sunset, he sees, you know, King Arthur.
If anything to be believed in this book, the nature of man is evil. It's pure violence.
Yeah. Or he could be saying the nature of man is whatever this King Arthur in the sky means.
Sure.
But also, yeah, let me tell you something, bro. We are addicted to oil. It's like, okay, yes, tell me this is a satire / critique of the U.S. without telling me. Like, duh. Like, yeah. Kind of redundant at that point. Like, I get it. Not to be that person, but like this little bit at the end comes off. I mean, it's funny. It is funny. It's satirical like the rest of it, but it comes off as a little pretentious. You think?
I completely disagree. I love it. I want to end a comic like that. I want it to be so obtuse in my ending. I want to reference like fucking Infinite Jest or something after some sort of insane, violent action thing.
No, I mean like the About the Author thing at this point.
Oh, you don't like it? Oh, I think it's hilarious.
No, it's funny. It is. It's funny and it's satirical and it's obviously not taking itself very seriously. But like, you know, when people like, I don't know if you know the vibe of like when people like they don't take themselves seriously and they're like, yeah, it's just like, it's like satire. but you can tell they're like really kind of a little bit pretentious about things.
Like that sort of anti-try hard idea, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Feels a little bit like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Which, like, I'm not gonna be out here, like, judging artists for doing their thing. Like, whatever. It's just a funny comic. If he's really trying to do an actual, like, serious satire or political statement that, though the comic is not supposed to be taken seriously at face value with what's happening on the page, if he actually wants what's being said in the subtext to be taken seriously, at that point, it's like, yeah, no, dude. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, pick a lane, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that he's, like, obviously, what is happening panel by panel on the page is not to be taken seriously. We had a dude do, like, a full, like, front flip on a plane. There's not enough room in a plane aisle for that to happen. That's obviously not meant to be taken seriously. Do you think what this is saying about society, culture, the U.S., war on terror, do you think that's supposed to be taken seriously? Do you think he is actually trying to say a coherent thing?
Unfortunately, I'm not sure. I legitimately don't know, because I know what kind of comics Benjamin Marra likes, and they're not dissimilar from this in tone. And those comics are meant to be taken seriously. That being said, like, obviously there is some sort of irony going on. I don't know if it's post-irony. I don't know if it's post-irony. But, like, you can't take all of this. I mean, just the way people talk is insane. It's what... if someone talked to you like this in real life, you would think they're a crazy person or, like, an alien that is, like, abducted somebody. So it has to be, like, kind of on the... It has to be a little tongue-in-cheek, right? Like, he's kind of making fun of some stuff. Yeah. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, like, I read this as entire... Like I said, I read this as just, like, straight-up comedy. And they say, like, yeah, you can tell there's satire happening. But usually when something is satire, it's trying to, on some level, make a point about something. Yeah?
Yes. Usually it is trying to at least call attention to some sort of perceived plight on society, I think. That's a good definition of satire, right?
Yeah. And I think if the satire is supposed to mean anything more than... Like, obviously you can tell he's like, yeah, this amount of violence is, like, stupid and you shouldn't take this seriously, and we're making fun of, like, the U.S. and their ultra violence and all that stuff, and we're making fun of it. If he's trying to say anything more deeply than that, I think that's where he missed the mark. So I'm just going to, at this point, assume he's just pointing at, he's like, hey, yeah, you know this thing? I'm making fun of it. Watch this plane explode.
Watch half of this plane explode. Yeah. Well, while also having a good time. That's the other thing, is, like, this looked like he had a lot of fun to draw, right? Like, there's no way he wasn't cackling at himself as he drew Terror Assaulter shooting a car's gas tank until it explodes in the middle of a building, and then a ninja shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, it seems like he had a great time. I don't know how much of it was planned, or if it's just one of those things where you're like, yeah, I finished a page. Now I'm going to decide what's on the next page.
Yes. Yeah, I'm curious what his writing looked like. Like, there's no way he was full script on this, right? Like...
Yeah, the script of what people are saying is actually just, like, the description of what's happening in the panel.
Yeah, he doesn't need to write certainly doesn't need to write, like, Terrorist 1. Watch out, we're hijacking the airplane. Terrorist 2, we present evidence of our serious intentions. Hostage, no. Other hostage, gasp. Like, first hostage, they're killing me.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff feels intentional, though. Like, that's the other thing, is, like, all of the onomatopoeia, all the sound effects, like, those are really well... Like, it's a really well-lettered comic.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, yes, the wonders of not having to translate onomatopoeias. As someone who is extremely used to reading Japanese comics, where either the onomatopoeia is left and not translated, which I think is the superior way of doing it, or it's translated and it's just kind of placed slightly funny because it was not meant to actually look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, no, it works. It's great. It's like it's part of the artwork.
How do you feel about the design? Like, how do you feel about the colors and the lettering, as well as the comps? You touched on how, despite it being that, like, 60s Marvel 6-panel grid layout, like, it does kind of flow pretty good. But how do you feel about the design otherwise?
I have no problem with it. I mean, like, I'm sure I mentioned this in the Me and Roboco episode, but, like, I tend to give more leeway to comedy comics in terms of, well, like, everything, because the point is just to make a funny and make someone laugh. So I'll always give more leeway with, like, layout and character design and coloring and even the quality of the drawings and quality of the art, as long as it serves the joke. So, like, that's probably a big part of my enjoyment of this. If it was drawn and paneled and written in this way and colored in this way, and it was like a serious story that was like you were supposed to take seriously, if it was like a drama or like a psychological foray into OMWOT's mind, I probably would have hated it. I would have hated it formally and
if there's any interiority or drama, you would not enjoy this.
Probably not. I mean, like, even with the last chapter when he's like has to like have a domestic life, it doesn't stop being like the rest of the book. You still have the crazy sex scenes, you still have the crazy violent scenes, you still have just like the scenes in a nondescript building that are insane. He's just now at work instead of breaking into someone else's work. So, all those reasons, I give a lot of like grace to aspects of a comic that I probably wouldn't usually like. Saying that, I do enjoy the coloring. I like limited color palettes, so that's nice. I mean, there are some times where they bring in like a bit of green. I mean, I guess it's necessary sometimes to have another color to be like, yes, that's actually a plant. It would be weird if you made the plant blue. It wouldn't really work.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's actually green. I think it is yellow dots imposed on a blue, like a 100% blue, which is like...
Agreed. But, so it is still using the blue and the yellow. Yes. Not what I mean when I mean limited color palette. You wanted yellow, like in the that Superman comic we did, the part where it's the parts in the White House or whatever with Lex Luthor, it's only in red, white, and blue or whatever it was. Yeah, even though like sometimes it was like hard to read what was exactly happening, and me being like, why is everybody blue?
Why are there blue people?
Yeah, that's limited color palette. Here they're like, yeah, but if you put two colors on top of each other, they make another color. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Anyways, I get it. You do need visually it looks like green. You do need the green sometimes to differentiate that, this is a tree instead of the plane that has blue on top of it, blah, 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 whatever. Fine. I do like limited color palettes. I think it's just, for me, visually pleasing to look at, because you have to think more about what color you're going to make things, so you can't just go with naturalistic color, which is like the boring option. You have to actually make the color mean something. I don't know if he made the color actually mean something, or if he was like, I think this panel should just be red. But if you do notice, there are some scenes where the color is predominantly red. This being the scene where he goes and meets the lizard people in the basement, and the other one I'm thinking of is the strip club scene. Those ones are like literally only red. Yes. I do not know if there is a meaning to this, or if it's just like, red was the best color to use here to make it seem not super bright, but also spookier than if they used blue.
I mean, I think it certainly means that something bad is going to... Anytime that there's an all-red panel, somebody is getting hurt or getting fucked or threatening violence. So I think the red does symbolize something.
Yeah. And this is violence. It symbolizes violence or pleasure, I guess, or whatever. Yeah. If you notice, like, his car is red. The guy he beats up has a blue car.
Yes.
Yeah. So, who knows? Me saying I like the coloring in a Western comic.
In the most non-standard Western comic of all time.
But no, because it's good. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't put it in my top 10 favorite things that are colored. Actually, I think, like, something like Tintin looks better colored than this, but, like, whatever. Like, if you go to the page where, at the very end of chapter 3, it's a 2-page spread, and he just tossed the other guy out the window, whatever. And the city is burning around them, and he says, let's just say I don't understand anything you're talking about right now. Like, this is a great panel. This panel looks gorgeous.
It's an amazing page. 2-page spread. It's incredible. Yeah.
No, it's great. Like, this is art, baby. And the coloring works well, and, whatever, you can't really tell that they're, like, posed awkwardly because they're not actually, like, moving, so it's fine. No, this is great. Like, this is... The art here is great. It worked for a 2-page spread, and those are always the most important. So, no. Formally, I quite like it. I am giving it more leeway because it's a comedy. But it doesn't matter if the art is kind of, like, not the kind of thing I would usually like, because it serves the joke. That's the most important part about comedy and art, is the art serves the joke. And it does. It's great.
And this is
it
successful.
Makes it funnier.
Yeah.
If this was drawn like Watchmen... awful. I would hate it. It would be so boring.
I don't know. I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see Dave Gibbons redraw.
That would be funny. Yes, that would be really funny. But like, the comedy wouldn't work. It would be so much more boring. The art style really works for this type of comic. It's like, yeah, this art style wouldn't work for most comics, and most styles wouldn't work specifically for this comic. So I think it's perfect.
I don't know. I also want to see Benjamin Marra redraw Watchmen now that you bring it up. I think that would be a fucking awesome comic book.
I think that would be better. Yeah, Watchmen in this style would be better than OMWOT in Watchmen style.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, for sure. As in, I would read Watchmen if it was drawn like this. Now that I, know what Watchmen is, if I picked Watchmen off the shelf for the first time, opened it, and it looked like this, and it was taking itself seriously, I'd be like, okay, cringe, and I'd put it back. Like right now. But right now, if somebody was like, hey, Benjamin Marra redrew Watchmen, I would be like, hell yeah, I'm getting that. But if they were like, oh yeah, look at this redraw of OMWOT, and I'd be like, no, I don't care. That's not the point. That would ruin it.
I think this would suffer if it were... I mean, Dave Gibbons is like a master class illustrator, so maybe bad example. But if this were drawn by like just a journeyman contemporary Marvel artist, I don't think the joke would get across.
Oh, God.
So no. I agree. I completely agree with you.
No.
Now, that being said, I think because Watchmen is also a satire of the superhero genre and of comics and life in 1986... I really think Benjamin Marra would sell the hell out of that book. I don't think anybody else would like it, but I would love it.
If Benjamin Marra redid Watchmen, and everybody, instead of talking like normal humans, talked like the way people in this story did, like that would be hilarious.
Rorschach's already halfway there.
Yeah, but like instead of any type of nuance, if it was just like Dan being like, to Laurie was like, I'm being nice with you because I want to have sex, and her being like, I have a boyfriend, I see you as a friend right now, I'm going to sleep. Like, that would be great.
I'm impotent, my penis doesn't work unless I'm dressed as an owl.
Yeah, and she would be like, I find that hot.
I find that it's sexy.
Yeah, like that would be amazing. Are you kidding me? That would be great. But if this comic was redrawn and rewritten in Watchmen style, it would be so boring.
if Alan Moore were to this, would still rip. I think the lesson here is that Terror Assaulter OMWOT, as I was asking, it is high art. It's right up there with Watchmen as one of the greatest graphic novels of all time.
Controversial opinion. I think that the fight scenes in OMWOT are better than the fight scenes in Watchmen.
Hell yeah. Based.
And you know what? If we ever talk about Watchmen, which I'm sure we will, I will go more into that opinion. I am not saying this sarcastically. I kind of think they work better.
No, I 100% agree.
The fight scenes in this comic work better for what they're trying to do in this comic than the fight scenes in Watchmen, because I don't know, like the fight scenes, and I don't know. When I first showed Watchmen to my sister, and I kind of talked about it, she was like, "Yeah, you're right. The fight scenes are kind of stiff," and I was like, "That's what I'm saying.
They should be stiffer."
They should be like this. You should be able to use a human as a baseball bat to hit two other teens that are riding piss on your car.
If you do a roundhouse kick, your legs should be as tall as you.
Yes, you should be able to, if you were going to kick someone's spine out, you should be able to, with both legs fully straight and both arms fully straight, why not, be able to get your foot above your head. You should be a world-class gymnast in a suit.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But anyways, about high art / low art. I mean, when you said that in the intro, I'd set off the trigger in me about the differentiations between high art and low art. I don't know. You ever take an art history class? You ever like learn about a high art versus low art?
Yes, particularly I had an instructor who I really did not like. In what's the one you take right before modern art?
Yeah, it's not the one. It's the one where it's like the 1850 to 1950. Is it that one?
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, I think it was fresco art. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And he was legitimately like, and all of this is shit. All of this is bad. Does anyone actually like this? Like, this is all garbage. And I was like, I don't know. It's okay. Like, I don't know. I thought it was okay. Like, his whole deal was like, regular people like this, and therefore it's bad. And I'm like, whoa, slow your roll, man.
Is he one of the people who are like, modern art is better because, like, it doesn't have to look good to be good art?
I don't even think so. I think if you ask this guy, he would say, like, pop art or, like, Dadaism was, like, trash. And I'm like, whoa, take it easy, pal. Like,
well, what did he like, then?
Like, Gothic architecture and, like he liked plenty of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Greco-revivalism and stuff like that. But, like, I don't know what it was about. Maybe it was Rococo art that he was like, this is just all trash. And I was like, what? Really?
A fun fact, Rococo art is one of my favorite genres or styles. Definitely in the top 3. Anyways.
Yeah, it was either fresco or Rococo.
But yeah, high art, low art, I am a proponent of there is no difference. Art is art as long as it is made by humans.
Completely
I will
agree.
put that out there. As long as it is fully made by a human and not using any type of artificial assistance. Anyways, all art is art. The difference between low art and high art is, I think, archaic and does not matter because historically, many people have seen comics as low art. Cough, cough, some instructors in university. Cough, cough.
Yeah, you've had an interesting... You come from, like, an actual art education background, not unlike Benjamin Marra. Yeah. What is your experience with, like, what do people actually... Like, what do art instructors, what do theoreticians actually like?
So, I mean, I'm just gonna go on a slight rant here about the high art, low art stuff. Back when I did my BFA at the U of A... finished it at the U of A. The U of A was a very, at the time, traditional kind of art school, as in it was like, oh, you're not doing oil paintings? You're not really an artist, are you? As in, one time I was in a class and I made a print and it was like vaguely anime style, and my prof straight up told me that this wasn't what she was looking for in her class. And I was like, well, this is my art. And then she straight up told me, well, maybe you should think if you should really be here. And I was like, if we weren't over Zoom, I'd like...
That's
Anyways,
crazy.
So, like, yeah, actual insane stuff. So it really depends on the artist. There is a lot of, like, snobbiness and pretentiousness, but I do think that really is a self-preservation thing, because, like, artists are often, like, one's art is hard to, like, be valued by others. Like, you obviously love your art so much because it's you, it's part of you, and, like, trying to get validation by people who aren't you for your art, like, that's what artists want, and it's very hard to do in, like, a world where, like, you know, art is a commodity. But in a, like, a academic sense, things that people really liked at the time were, you know, oil paintings, ones that aren't hyper realistic and ones that aren't completely abstract, as in when I took oil painting class, the prof wanted us all to have the same style, which is very funny because I'm sorry, what? That's not the point of art. They really liked performance art. Okay. They really liked conceptual art, which maybe if one day I'll go on a rant about conceptual art. But really, you could like hand in anything, and as long as you like gave a blur, your artist statement was like, yeah, the concept behind this is the way that society like views blah 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 blah, and I'm like turning this notion on its head. Yeah, anyways, you'd get a good mark for that. It's really pretentious. I don't like that kind of stuff. Also, this is a very subjective view of an experience because not everybody's art school is like this. But yeah, high art, low art. People still have a distinction between that, and that's stupid and dumb.
Now, among those people is Benjamin Marra, who, and I'm going to pull a quote from him here. He says, "I'm against comics as literature. Comics used to be dangerous, viewed as tools that corrupted innocent children and turned them into criminals, and they should continue that legacy." I think Marra believes that comics are low art, which is an opinion I've had. I've stated it before, but I also don't think that's a bad thing, and I don't think Marra thinks that's a bad thing either. Yeah. Do you agree with that?
Sure, but also I think some people use that distinction as like a shield against criticism or... I was going to sound really harsh. I was going to say criticism or putting in more effort. Sometimes...
As an excuse to be lazy? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sometimes people are like, yeah, if they're like, yeah, this is low art or it's outsider art or whatever, it feels like an excuse for them to either like make something different for the sake of being different instead of it being what like their actual aesthetic, or it's outsider art, it's low art, so it can be edgy and that makes it edgy. It's like, no, you kind of have to say something. You can't just like have a picture that's like different or like offensive for the sake of being offensive or like shocking for the sake of being shocking. That's like, okay, that's like boring, that's like easy. And I'm sure, okay, I'm being slightly hypocritical.
It's self-defeating almost.
Yeah, it's like, well, like, to me, art is a communication between humans about the human experience. So, like, if you're making something that's just like, oh, yeah, this is just meant to be, like, shocking, it's like, okay, you are technically saying something, but, like, I don't think you chose to say that. Like, you just kind of just did a thing, and now people are... It means something because people are reacting to it, not like because you actually wanted to say something. But anyways, I get what he's saying. As in, like, sure, comics becoming quote unquote high art takes away a lot of the edginess and it sanitizes a lot of things. I mean, there's a reason a lot of like autobio stuff kind of feels the same. Maybe we'll do an autobio comic someday and I can really get annoyed. You can pick an autobio comic and we'll...
Sounds like you agree with them. It sounds like you don't like comics as high art.
But here's the thing. If
or at least as literature.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you say that, then you are limiting what comics can be. If you say comics shouldn't be literature, then you are saying all comics should be like mine, because his is not, I guess, he would probably say his is not literature, it's scary, violent, blah blah blah, whatever he said. And putting comics in like a box like that, it's kind of lame, dude. Like, let comics be whatever they want to be, as long as they're made by a person. Because some of the most beautiful art and literature, because comics are both, they're words and pictures, have been comics, and they're beautiful. And I would classify them as high art, even though I don't like the distinction of high art and low art. They are like elevating the genre. They're like, you know, I would hate it if comics always stayed as like schlocky stuff that existed back in like when it was just kind of meant for like, oh, to entertain kids or whatever. Retell a classic story.
If it were all just EC and Classics Illustrated. I get what you're saying.
And yeah, it's like, comics can be everything. It's like, I get like his sentiment, but like, okay, dude, like, nothing's stopping you. Obviously nothing's stopping you from making this. You made it, and it got published by a major comic publisher. So obviously no one is stopping you from doing this. I would love if more stuff like this did get published widely. That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool. I don't want every comics to become for the lowest common denominator. That's boring. But it feels like he's like putting a ceiling on what comics can be. And no, comics should be able to go above the ceiling and below the floor. Go both ways.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know much about this guy. I only read this comic. I don't want to like be mean and think that he like really doesn't think that comics should be like quote unquote high art, because that would be like so reductive for an artist to say. So I hope he doesn't actually mean it in that way. But like, whatever, you do you. Art's for each individual. I'm not gonna tell people what they can't and cannot make.
Again, I would say he's being facetious, but I think this guy wears his heart on his sleeve, or lack of sleeves, as in his author picture, his author bio picture. My only other question is, can we add this to the Dudes Rock comics canon?
Okay, so actually when I was reading this, I was like, you know what? In some ways, this isn't too dissimilar to Backy. Because crazy, insane violence, human body doesn't work this way. Nothing actually is like this. Insane. Like how Backy is. I'm talking about Backy the Grappler. For those, go watch the episode about Backy the Grappler, my beloved. The only difference is it's on the two ends of this spectrum of this doesn't take itself seriously, and Backy takes itself so seriously.
Yes, that is my qualm too. Is it because of its insincerity? Does that mean that it's not Dudes Rock? Is it too ironic for Dudes Rock?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He is depicting a dude rocking. And even if it's satire, that is what he is depicting. You cannot ignore what is formally there and say, well, it's not actually that because it's a satire. No, you are showing a guy blowing up a plane and landing it while in the middle of having intercourse. Not outside the realm of something Yujiro from Backy would do, honestly. Let's be real. Except it would be he would seem more evil somehow, but it would also be poking fun at the US. Anyways, whatever. Doesn't matter. You can't use satire as a shield to say, well, I'm not depicting what I'm literally depicting because it's satire. It's still there. That's still exactly what is happening on the page, no matter how much couched in irony you want to say it is. It is still, at least at a formal level, a Dudes Rock comic.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, it checks all the boxes of extreme violence, extreme misogyny. It's got piss humor in there. That's always a good sign.
Mm-hmm. Swearing, smoking.
Guys who are like supposed to be cool but are very obviously not cool.
Yeah. You have a guy, in the first chapter, he's driving a motorbike and he just kind of leans his guns on the handlebars of the motorbike and then like drives it and goes off. You know what? Amazing. He just mounts his guns on the front of the motorbike. And
like that. Like that's how it works. It's like Legos or something.
Yeah. And like, you could totally just catch up to a speeding car doing a wheelie down the highway. Whatever. If that even is a highway, who knows? There's no detail in the panel. But
they go off a ramp.
Why is there a ramp?
It's a
bridge. It's to get over the river, of course. The river, which is just a rectangle of blue. Yes. But no, this is wholeheartedly a Dudes Rock story, and I appreciate it for that. I read this as fully just a absurdist comedy, insane Dudes Rock. I'm not reading into what it's actually saying about anything. I do not care.
I do. I love it. I love this book.
It's great. I'm glad it was something I enjoyed. I looked at the front cover and I was like, what the hell is this?
What is
and
this?
And then I read it.
Which also, this guy with the chainsaw and the domino mask, not at all in the book. Not anywhere in the book. Nothing like this at all happens. It's amazing.
the book it's a good representation of what the book is.
Yes, it is the vibe of the book. It's like,
Yep.
it is like a VHS cover for a bad horror, like a bad straight-to-video horror movie from the 80s or 90s, where it's the most gorgeous painted cover of some creature lurking in the shadows. And then when you watch the movie, it's 90% bad teenage actors talking to each other about something like stupid. It's incredible.
No, yeah. I enjoyed this. This is a good comic. Very funny. I'm glad I read it. I don't think I'm getting exactly what was meant to be got from this comic, but also I don't know exactly if it's supposed to say anything, so whatever. Do you think it's good satire?
I think parts of it are. Yeah, I think so. I think the Illuminati stuff, while obvious today, probably rang pretty funny back in 2015.
Yeah, it's not that old. Yeah.
Yeah, but
yes,
also
now...
the news wasn't reporting about pedophile secret networks on the news like every day back in 2014, 2015.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, yeah, it feels a little overdone, like overplayed, overdone, whatever at this point, but we are reading it 10 years after the fact, so
yeah,
you can't exactly fault it for that. Was it a little overdone at the time? Heck if I know.
I don't know if I don't know what it says about like this very obviously like a kind of a problematic depiction of trans people. Although, is it? Like, I'm not sure. Like, honestly, I should maybe ask an actual trans person about this, but I don't think it's a good view of what a trans person is like.
I don't think it's good, but I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, like there's way like it's the weirdest thing is there's way worse, but like at the same time it's like what is this?
But I think like a lot of like I was saying about like how the violence and like the sex scenes are portrayed. It's very like matter of fact. It just is. Yeah. So like he gets married to a trans woman and they have a kid.
And he never misgenders her and like
no. He's just like, let's buy you some lingerie so you look good.
Yeah.
So like it's not bad.
Like he treats her like any other
jokes.
Woman or man for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like okay, sure. So I don't think it's bad. I don't know anything about Benjamin Marra. I just kind of assume once I got to the end and I read his little blurb and saw his author pick, I was like, yeah, probably gay. I just assume.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gives me that vibe.
I don't know. This is very campy, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It's camp. I don't know. I think it's a queer masterpiece. Depending on how you read it, I guess. Sure. But whatever. Either way, I mean, it's not like it's depicting anything actually well.
Yeah, it's again, regardless of how OMWOT treats this person, OMWOT is still a terrible person. Like regardless of how he treated them, like it wouldn't matter because OMWOT's horrible. He's a monster.
Yeah. He's the worst of both worlds. He's a monster and he's also super boring.
Yeah.
Notice how I didn't bother at any point in time to like actually talk about characters and how the characters were boring because it doesn't matter because that's obviously not what this is about. They weren't trying to make a character at all. So it's like, that would be redundant if I was like, actually the character writing on our main character is pretty bland. I don't really feel anything from him. Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Describe anything about OMWOT's character without describing their job or what they look like.
Yeah.
He likes hurting people.
You can't just say, oh, that character is a woman. Nope. Try to give me something
certainly
more
not
than
a
that.
feminist text. For sure, not a feminist text.
No. Yeah. I don't think it was trying to be. I'm just assuming this was trying to be just a good fun read. And that's all that's how I'll take it. I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like this was just us talking for an hour and a half about, this was good.
This was some fucked up shit. This was some fucked up shit. My favorite genre of internet content.
Is this, does this rank highly in the comics that you like? Does it reach your top 10?
I don't know if this is in my top 10. This is pretty up there, though. I like this book a lot.
Yeah. Well, you did say it lives rent-free in your mind, and I've had much more boring things live rent-free in my mind. Very funny as a contrast to last week, which was a comic
Very
that lived
serious,
rent-free in my
yeah.
mind. But yeah, no, I'm glad. Now this will live rent-free in my mind as well.
Now you can think about such classic lines of, I just want to thank you for saving our lives. Get away from me. I really mean it. We owe you our lives. Don't touch me.
The cockpit is in the front.
The cockpit is in the front. Oh, hang on. No, the best probably is, honestly, work my dick like the plane control stick. That's like hilarious.
It's so funny. Oh man. This is good. This is a good time.
Thanks for listening. You can find me, Jack Stewartson, at Phantom Power Press, spelt with an F, on Bluesky and Pinksky.
And me, Diane, on Instagram at One Little Gremlin. That's 1_little_gremlin.
If you'd like to follow the show, you can do so on Bluesky and Pinksky. That's at panelpalspodcast.bsky.social. All of our links are in the show notes. If you like the show, please rate and review on your podcast provider of choice. Panel Pals is a Jack Stewartson, Diane Hitchings co-production with editing by Jack Stewartson. Our musical theme is found by Stemchamp.